Hi everyone, it's me, Dr. Whimsy. Today we're continuing our ongoing series on how to stay healthy on a budget. We're talking about weight loss and we're also talking about macronutrients. If you'd like to catch up on this series, this is the fourth installment of that series. We'll be talking about healthy weight loss and nutrition for the entire month of February. And this is the fourth installment. So if you want to catch up, you can go back and watch those other videos. So today we're talking about protein. What is protein? How much protein do you need? What does protein do? As I had mentioned in last video, it is a macronutrient. It can be used as fuel, but usually that's not what we use protein for. We use it for other interesting things. Protein can be used for building muscle, connective tissue, tendons, making neurotransmitters, which are signals our brain uses to do various interesting things. Hormones are one of the things that we use proteins for. So we use protein for a lot of stuff. White blood cells use a lot of protein to create various different things like antibodies. Hormone carriers, albumin, for example, is also made from protein. So we need protein for a lot of different things, but we always want to make sure that we're taking the right amount of protein. Too little protein can become a health challenge, can cause wasting and fatigue and a compromised immune system. But too much protein can also be a challenge as well. If a person has too much protein, they may be at risk for all kinds of diseases. For example, if you have too much protein, you may enter what's known as a metabolic an acidosis. Too much acid in the body. More acid than the kidneys can healthfully eliminate. And that can be in and of itself a health challenge. So too much protein, hard on the kidneys. We can also see osteoporosis, and this is because too much acid results in the body attempting to buffer itself or balance that acid, and that can lead to leaching calcium from bone. The calcium is attempting, just like when you take Tums, to neutralize all that acid. That's why we think that osteoporosis is associated with too much protein consumption. Kidney stones is another thing we see if a person consumes too much protein. Gout is one of those things we see in people who consume too much protein. And certain types of cancers, colon cancer, for example, has now been associated with diets high in animal protein. So how much protein does a person actually need? Well, it depends on a couple of things. It has to do with your gender. It has to do with your age. It has to do with your level of physical activity, your level of health. So you really have to find out what the right amount of protein is for your unique needs. I will link a calculator below so you can calculate just how much protein you need. Starting with most people, it's about 0.8 grams per kilogram. That is for somebody who's a sedentary adult. But if you're extremely physically active, you may want to increase beyond that. That also would translate as 0.36 grams per pound. So again, I'll link the calculator below, but I'm fairly certain that all of that's done for you in myfitnesspal.com. So the question has come up repeatedly, what is the right diet for the human body? And there are really strange things on the internet. People are going on all meat diets, and that can be extremely dangerous. For starters, as I had said before, too much meat is associated with chronic diseases. Too much animal protein is associated with chronic diseases. The main concern I have about people that are on extremely high protein diets is kidney health. It really plays a number on the kidneys, and so you really want to make sure that you're only taking how much you need. And this is really going back to the philosophies of frugal living, that we take what we need, but we do not hoard. We do not hold on to more than we need. We do not take on a greater burden than we need, whether it's too many things or too many calories. If you go back to the video I did that showed a correlation between hoarding and obesity and poverty, we talked about that correlation where when you hold on to too many things, it can lead to ill health, poverty, etc. So the same is true for our bodies. We really don't want to take on more than our bodies can need. We want to be in balance. And that really keeps with frugal living, and it keeps with having a healthy paycheck. If you're spending more than you can afford, you're going to be entering poverty. If you're consuming more food than you need, you're going to be entering into ill health. So we really want to just take what we need, and that's why it's a really great idea to find out what's right for you. There are a lot of broke aristocrats that are vegetarians and vegans. I think that's absolutely fine. But if you do feel like you're not getting adequate amounts of protein, you may want to start your day with a protein smoothie. If you go back to my videos, I have a great recipe. It's under $3 for a frugal smoothie that is extremely nutrient dense, and I give you the names and the ratios, etc. It's also been discussed about what's better, plant proteins or animal proteins. What is the most bioavailable? Well, one of the most bioavailable proteins out there is probably egg whites. And that's because egg whites are really easy to digest, and they have a really great amino acid profile. As I had mentioned, the building blocks of protein are amino acids. So yes, animal proteins are more bioavailable, but if you're smart and you do your homework, you should be just fine if you want to be vegetarian. Not everyone has an easy time digesting plants, and that's one of the reasons why it can be difficult to get the protein you need from plants. An example would be getting protein from beans. Well, yes, you eat the protein that's in the beans, but the beans also contain fiber, complex carbohydrates, fats, etc., and your body must work very, very hard to rip through the fiber, digest all that other stuff in order to get to the protein. And again, if you've got compromised digestion, that's not necessarily the most bioavailable way to get protein. And so the person may be consuming large amounts of plant protein, but not necessarily absorbing all of the protein that they're consuming. In that population, I usually recommend a digestive enzyme. Also, if a person has low stomach acid or hypochlorhydria, stomach acid is necessary to break down food, but particularly it's important when we're trying to digest proteins. All right, so that wraps up my lecture on protein. I think I pretty much covered everything I needed to about protein. Yeah, so I think it's good. Again, if you'd like to be vegetarian and you'd like to get nutrient-dense food, it's absolutely safe, and you'll be getting adequate protein, particularly if you start your day with a protein smoothie. I really like getting my patients on the protein smoothies because the recipe that I give people gives them 21 grams of protein. And if you're a woman and you're sedentary, I think that we had calculated that the average woman needs approximately 46 grams a day. So you're basically getting close to half your protein needs in the morning. And if you are having that difficulty digesting your food, you can take a good digestive enzyme with it, so you should be okay. All right, I want to thank you for watching this video of Broke Aristocrats. We're going to continue on with this series, moving on to fats, and then we'll move on to micronutrients, what vitamins are, and vitamins and antioxidants are, and how to get adequate amounts of those. Be sure and share, like, subscribe, and tell me what you were doing to take care of yourself without breaking the bank. I want to thank you for watching, and we look forward to talking to you again real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.